Hey guys, welcome to the Liberal Hivemind, a channel solely focused on exposing the abundant hypocrisy of the left. An old story resurfaces. Nearly 2 years ago, or about a year and a half ago, there was a claim made by the Trump White House that the media just brushed off and the Twitter sphere laughed at him, saying they were playing partisan politics. There's no way this happened. What a bunch of liars. Turns out, Trump was right. Like usual, the Trump administration was telling the truth and the media refused to believe it. The Democrats pretended like it never happened, but it did. In November 2019, the Trump administration came out and said when they initially came into the White House after inauguration in 2017, White House cabinets and drawers and desks were littered with politically divisive, hateful messages that they claimed were left there by White House staffers. Turns out, the story was true, except it might not have been White House staffers, but rather, guess what? Woke Hollywood celebrities partying in the White House with the Democrat elite establishment, walking around like petulant children across the most sacred building in American history, or at least one of them, leaving hateful letters for the incoming administration because they're just so tolerant. They're just such great people. Now, you might think this is some tabloid BS and that I shouldn't even be giving it any oxygen whatsoever, but I think it's important. I think we got to continue to talk about the negativity, the despicable cultural standard and behavior that comes out of these celebrities, because the fact of the matter is, they are not role models, no matter how many times they claim to be. So let's get into it, folks. Let's get after Hollywood like we always do. We got a lot to get into, but before we do, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible, and with that out of the way, let's roll the tape. Alright, so here is the initial story. White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham claimed without evidence that Obama staffers left notes for Trump aides saying, "You will fail," back in 2019. The White House Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham claimed without evidence that former President Barack Obama's White House staffers left discouraging notes for their successors in the Trump administration with messages like, "You will fail." In a tweet on Tuesday, CNN correspondent Abby Phillips quoted Grisham as saying that when the Trump administration staffers moved into the White House, every office was filled with Obama books and we had notes left behind that said, "You will fail and you aren't going to make it." A host of former Obama aides denied Grisham's claim, accused her of lying, and in some cases argued they instead left encouraging notes for President Donald Trump's aides. Give me a break, as if that would happen in any universe. Turns out the story was in fact correct. Check this out right over here. Nasty notes left for Trump staffers came from celebrities, not Obama aides, Dave Chappelle says. When former President Donald Trump first moved into the White House in January 2017, his staffers said they found nasty notes stuffed into the drawers and cabinets, a claim President Barack Obama's aides fiercely denied. But comedian Dave Chappelle now says that the notes did exist. They were penned by a group of unnamed mischievous celebrities during a goodbye bash for the departing administration. Remember when the Trump administration moved in, they said the Obama staff left dirty notes for us in all the drawers and all the cabinets. Chappelle said on a new episode of Naomi Campbell's No Filter YouTube series published Tuesday, "I saw this happening. I'm not going to say who did it," he went on, "but it was celebrities writing all this crazy S and putting them all over there. I saw them doing it. So when I saw it on the news, I laughed real hard." Chappelle said the notes were left during one of the last White House shindigs thrown by the Obama family before they moved out at the start of Trump's term in 2019. Former President Trump Press Secretary Stephanie Grisham said the missives included biting remarks like, "You will fail and you aren't going to make it." Yeah, there were mean notes left in odd places, one in a deputy press secretary's office, one inside a desk drawer in upper press, another on a bathroom mirror. They were all about how we were doomed to failure. Those notes definitely happened. They even left us Russian vodka in the cabinet, another source added at the time. They were trolling us from the minute we got there. It was definitely just ridiculous. We were trying to find the bathroom and we got these notes saying, "You will fail and you're not going to make it." And this may just seem like some little tabloid BS story, but this is quite important. Celebrities are serious cultural figures, and when you think about it, celebrities probably within the Democrat establishment and within independent voters and just regular Americans have more influence than the Democrat establishment themselves. These are the comedians and the people who host some of the biggest shows out there, late night TV, comedy specials, movies, TV series, hosting events like the Oscars and the Grammys, and it's been anti-Trump all along. Before he even got into the White House, they were already peddling this whole Russia narrative and left him Russian vodka. They call themselves Americans and they talk about patriotism, but they were hoping that the Trump administration would fail at serving the American public. Talk about a lack of patriotism. They talk a whole big game about tolerance while being the most intolerant you could possibly be. They talk a big game about divisive rhetoric and dividing Americans, and then they do stuff like this. I mean, just think about it. These are people who are supposed to be, quote, role models, running around the White House, something that should be an absolute honor. You should be on your best behavior. I feel like I'm a parent talking to a kid saying you need to be on your best behavior, but these are adult celebrity people, millionaires with incredible influence and access to millions. And just think about it. Think of the imagery in your mind of them running around the White House, leaving little post-it notes and notes, giggling around, ha 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 ha, like it's all a big joke. It's not. It's not a joke. But to them, it always was. Donald Trump was going to be the enemy. They were going to attack him. They were going to doom him to failure. And they were going to do everything in their power to make sure that that narrative stays afloat. Regardless of what Donald Trump did, he ended up having an incredible presidency within my view, at least in comparison to the previous decades of his predecessors. But they never wanted to look at that from the beginning. From their perspective, all that matters is that you have a D next to your name. Talk about you will fail and you're a failure and you're not going to make it. The absolute irony, considering they have Joe Biden in office right now who is, I don't want him to fail, but he's not exactly doing a good job. And then on top of that, pretending as if they're on some high horse, some pedestal from 8 years of Obama, looking down on Donald Trump's 4 years. Give me a break. But it just goes to show, once again, it's the Democrat elitists, celebrities, big bankers, executives, Wall Street tycoons, real estate tycoons, all at their little shindig at the White House with Barack Obama, drinking their champagne, looking down on middle America, looking down on Republicans, on Donald Trump, viewing him as a failure. He could never do what they could do. They're Democrats, acting literally like children. And then on top of that, the more sinister element of it, they own all the media companies. They host all the big TV shows. And then they use their influence, not to be fair, not to be objective, not to the benefit of Americans, not to give Donald Trump the benefit of the doubt, and to help ameliorate society, to bring people together, regardless of orientation, immutable characteristics, gender, race, what have you, but to divide people, to create a boogeyman, to create an enemy, an antagonist, and to make themselves seem like the moral superior group, and to push that narrative upon all of their minions who follow blindly. This is the destructive nature of America. This is exactly what is destroying a sense of unity that used to be. This is the toxic culture that is dividing people as the Democrat elites and their minions against the rest of the just regular American folks. These are the people who look down on you. These are the people who Hillary Clinton brought on the stage to try to carry her to the White House as she looked down on people who disagreed with her as deplorables or lesser than. These are the people who lead the hateful mob on Twitter that tries to cancel everything. The hateful mob on Twitter that wished atrocious things about children. The Covington kids who were slandered by the exact companies that they work for and they're connected to. It all comes full circle, doesn't it? They're the people who show up at these Obama White House galas. They're the people who spew vile hatred on Twitter, then feign virtue. And they do the exact same thing in real life, in real context, at the White House in one of the most despicable acts I've seen. It's not violent and it's not a terrible atrocity in American history, but it is vile, it is despicable, and it is emblematic of exactly what's wrong in politics in the modern day. And so that's why I wanted to talk about it. Constant lies, constant smears, and a hope for failure for the opposing side is just what the Democrats seem to do. And this notion that celebrities are better than us as they corrupt our youth, as they marry and divorce and remarry and divorce, cheat on each other, party, substance abuse, pretty much everything wrong with society, and then they look down on you is a complete joke. That's the video that I got for you. If you enjoyed it, please make sure to leave a like, a comment, subscribe, share the video as much as possible. We're still shadow banned by the YouTube algorithm, hidden from non-subscribed viewers. But now, like usual, I gotta get back to work because there's a whole lot of celebrity nonsense and Democrat nonsense. It's basically the same thing that must be exposed on a daily basis. I'm gonna get to that. I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you on the next one.